Hey, welcome to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. This is the place where we help you unravel social constructs, discuss self-development in line with mental health, and everything in between that directly or indirectly affects us in the millennial world around us. My goal is to create a virtual platform for you and I to have passionate conversations society is silent about. What you get from this is without a doubt a chance for you to practice self-assessment so that you can ably jump into your next best season. I am your host, Nabuguzi Kiwanuka, a lawyer, founder, team lead of Aweko Faith Foundation, an addict and lover of insightful conversations, and a professional unraveler of social constructs. If you're hearing my voice for the first time and are the kind of person who is not scared of being a better version of yourself, even if it requires you to contradict who you were 24 hours ago, this is the right place for you, because on here, we keep unraveling ourselves for the greater good. To the return subscriber, thank you for being the heartbeat of this podcast. Today's guest is Aweko Faith. She is the CEO of Reform Africa and a wastepreneur who is protecting the environment with a touch of fashion and design. In the conversation, she shared what it was like for her to get to the level of transforming plastic bags into affordable, durable, and waterproof bags. Let's get into the conversation. Faith, welcome to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka.
Thank you.
So what did you want to be while growing up?
So while growing up, I wanted to be two. I wanted to be like an engineer.
Yeah.
Because my dad is an engineer. And then as time went by, I picked interest in fashion and design.
Okay.
I think that was around P3, P4, P5.
P3, P4.
Yeah.
You were into design.
Yes, I really love to, to make clothes for my dolls.
Yeah.
To pick around cut-offs and make clothes or sandals, or even clothes.
Sandals.
For myself and sisters. Yeah, we used to experiment a lot
Yeah.
as kids. Yeah.
Going as far as making sandals. Yo, how? Because now, when I'm looking at myself trying to experiment to create something, the farthest I could do was get fibers and create a doll. I don't know if you've seen that before. And from that, I could possibly get polythene bags and wrap maybe, I don't know what, that rubber kind of thing, and create a ball. So when you go as far as sandals.
So me and my sisters, we are really too close up to now. So when we were growing up, kids are having dolls out of the banana fiber, sandals out of the banana fiber. So we wanted to really be a little bit...
Sandals out of the banana fiber?
Yeah, the stems. You didn't wear sandals out of banana stems?
Really, I've not seen that before.
They're there. Kids make those. So we wanted to be unique, We have this kind, and then you guys have these kinds. So for us, we used to make from clothes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we used to stitch them together with the banana fiber as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had access to needles, threads, and everything.
Yeah.
That was from your mom?
So my mom had a salon.
Yeah.
So actually, I also know how to really twist and braid hair.
Yeah.
So my mom had a salon, and from a younger age, we were able to hold needles, scissors, though with my case, I wasn't allowed many times because I one time cut the wire of the TV. Yeah.
Was it accidental, or you wanted to find out how it works?
Things. No, I just really loved to, to just cut and break. Cut and break.
Did you have it in mind that, this is a cord for the TV?
I knew.
That is that's what's annoying about children. You ask them, didn't you know? Like, I knew, like, why
I
did
knew
you
what
know
I was
it?
doing. And then since then, my dad never bought a TV again. It's like, what?
How old were you at that time?
That's it. I was still in my primary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Primary?
Yes. I was cutting already.
You weren't caned?
I was caned.
Because
like,
for primary, I
they
was
used to
when you
cane us
said
okay, personally me, they used to cane me almost every day because I was too stubborn. As a kid, I was too stubborn.
there was always something you're about.
Always, jumping over the fence, climbing the roof, like climbing the roof of the house. One time we climbed.
What were you looking for? I mean,
climbing and then jumping over the roof.
You being caned every single day, wasn't there a moment when you sat down and like, okay, I need to get myself together?
I was too. No, there was never a moment. I was too wild. But remember, my dad said in senior 1, he's going to take me to either Masindi, Gulu, Mbale, to
away
the
from
farthest
home
schools, and then there's not going to be anyone to really visit me.
Yeah.
I was okay with it. Like, he's like...
You were okay with it?
I was okay with it because he would either say, it's either you stop being stubborn, or when you finish your P7, you're going to this school. But that didn't stop me from really being stubborn. Every day, still the same.
You weren't scared that you're going to be away from family?
I wasn't scared because I knew my mom would not really accept that, because also we're helping her. She had a salon, but she also had, a canteen at the school, so we had to wake up like at 4 a.m.
The exact school that you were going to?
Yes, in primary school. Help her with housework, then also help her with frying like the samosas.
So you're skilled in that as well?
The pancakes, yeah, sure. The pancakes and all that, and then at 7 we go to school. So I'm like,
Those were such early mornings.
Yeah. I really don't think.
Those were such early mornings, man.
Yeah. That's why maybe I'm a morning person, because I wake up at 5.
You're used to waking up at such hours. So let's go back to what you wanted to be while growing up. You're talking about how you wanted to be an engineer because your dad wanted to be an engineer. Was or is?
He is.
He is an engineer. Was he telling you that you had to be exactly what he was doing, or was it something that you really felt that you could do?
I just loved really, maybe because it was a job that I knew then, because of like what he was doing, an engineer, maybe waking up in the morning and going to build houses.
Yeah.
I don't know why I wanted to be an engineer. I also tried it out in secondary to really do physics, mathematics, and to just concentrate and see if I can really still be an engineer. Yeah. But then I wasn't really good at physics. I was good at biology though, and also good at mathematics.
Yeah.
And then chemistry. So there was
You were good at chemistry?
Way. Yeah, there was
God bless you.
There was no way.
She was weird.
I would be an engineer without being good in physics. Yeah. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was the teachers or what.
Did you have interest in it?
Engineering?
In the subject?
Yeah.
Physics itself?
Yeah. I tried my best to really like read the sciences and excel. Yeah. But I'll end up getting a C4, a C5. I wanted to, because at Chambogo, they said maybe if you want to be an engineer, you have to get distinctions.
Yeah.
And I was getting that in chemistry, biology, mathematics,
and
but
not physics.
No.
Boy, and now that was, when did you drop the dream? Was it something about S4?
Not something about S4. So, like I said, I really loved design, and I also loved art. You know, if I have a pen and a pencil, you can even see
you're going to be
my books now. You find the sketches and all that, sketches of dresses. Yeah. I'm having a lot of cut-offs in the house. You come back evening, they're all gone. Maybe they have swept them out of the house, but then again, if I see a cut-off, I'll still have it. So in senior 3, when we were told to choose subjects, I chose art.
Okay.
So I really fell in love with art, as I'm as well doing the sciences.
Trying to figure them out.
Then in my senior 4, I thought maybe, yeah, because there was beautiful arts in the class art room, and I would spend like most of my time in the art museum that we had at school.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe I would also give it a try. I always wanted to.
You had a museum in school?
Yes, for art, for sculptures, for different things that people do, and for also so in case you also need to give out your art book at school, you can give it out. They can cut out. I had a photo that I drew so well in my senior 3, I think senior 3 third term. It was a bicycle. Yeah. And it looked real. So that you would give it out if you want to.
Do they pay?
No.
I want to be paid. Oh, no, not for money.
Not be paid, but it's to inspire people, other people, because I was also inspired by really,
by someone else.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. When I was younger, for me to give you my thing, like something artistic, you had to give me money. You had to give me money for that. Okay, now here we are. You're doing art. You're loving the art. As for the marks are out, how do you get to choose? What was that when you got to choose art as an optional? Is that the moment when you felt like, I might not go ahead with this engineering dream?
No. By then, no. So after that, because most times it was about the performance. So you don't know how you're going to perform. So after that, I thought, okay, yeah, sure, physics, I'm going to drop it off, because also they scared me, like HSC physics is really, really way hard. If you don't perform too well in your O level, forget physics. Otherwise, you're going to suffer. So I thought maybe, okay, I took on mathematics because I loved mathematics. Yeah. Then I also took on economics.
Okay.
Because I performed well. Because also business, like
that's like commerce for O level.
No, so in O level, I did the subjects I chose, because we chose 4 subjects.
You chose 4 subjects?
Yeah.
In O level?
Yes.
How?
Was it 4 3?
2.
No, 4.
What? How? What's your best? What is it called? 8 in 8 or? Yeah, 8. Wasn't 8 in 8 and 8 in 10?
I'm not so sure, because I chose commerce, I chose CRE, I chose art.
Oh yeah.
And then I chose entrepreneurship, something like that.
Are you serious?
Yes, but economics was compulsory.
You had economics in O level?
No, we didn't have.
That was commerce.
Yeah, commerce. Yeah, commerce. So, so I chose commerce and entrepreneurship because already, I was helping my mom out and all that, so it was easier.
Wasn't it so easy for you? Because I feel like you were in the business already.
It was easier for me to do commerce and entrepreneurship. Yeah. So in HSC, I had to choose now. So in first term, I did mathematics, economics, geography. I love geography.
Meg.
I love geography.
Until it gets to directions.
I'm bad at directions, but I just love geography. Yeah. Geography I love geography. I didn't love history, but I used to be the best in history.
Oh yeah.
Just because it was easier for me, but I really didn't love history, because after the exam, my my fingers are really paining from writing. So I hated that because of writing. Yeah. So I did mathematics, economics, geography. Then I struck art.
Meg art.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, this is really good. And then my brother was doing art. Yeah. As well. So I really love to do art because of also him, by the way. Yeah. Yeah. So in my first term, I brought back the report, and it's like, okay, so you chose art. I'm like, yes. It's like, no.
Your parents weren't involved in your choices?
No.
Whoa, okay.
So I'm like, so it's like, no way. There's no way I'm going to pay for you to do art. Like, art has no weight. Look at your brother.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, okay. So he told me to change. So I go back to school, big-headed. I didn't change. Yeah. I think I I don't remember exactly what happened. Either he called at school,
Yeah.
or he was following up.
On whether you had changed?
Yes.
He was that serious?
Yeah, my dad is
Did he ever ask at least why you chose art?
No.
Yeah.
So then art just has no weight. There are no jobs for that. You have to do, like, it has to be something else, but not art. So I thought, okay, you know what? I'll do art at the university.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know that if you
So
don't
a
do
teacher
art,
called you up out of class and...
No, he kept on asking me, kept on following up.
Whether you had changed.
Whether I changed or not. And then he kept on telling me, you dare not, you dare bring a report with art.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
the end.
No more school for you.
No more. So I'm like, okay, I do art at the university. So little did I know that you have to do art in A level for you to do art at the university.
Career guidance.
Yeah, so, okay. So yeah, so that's how I did mathematics, economics,
And?
geography, and entrepreneurship.
Meg and.
Yes.
Coming to campus.
So yeah, so
The dream that you had that you were supposed you
Yes,
could do
so-
the art at campus.
when I was checking to really see the courses I would do, they told me if I'm to do industrial arts, it has to be a diploma. I'm like,
Did you think while you were in A level, did you ever think about what you really wanted to do now that the dream had died? Because now there are two dreams that are away. You can't do art, and you're not doing engineering anymore. Was there a moment of recalibration of now what am I going to do? Did you ever go back and forth in your mind wondering which path you were going to take in career?
No, I think by then now I was really, really passionate about art and about
Even when you weren't
fashion.
studying
Yes,
it?
even when I weren't studying it.
Yeah.
Because also what gave me hope was my sister's friend.
Yeah.
She's a childhood friend of hers though, but we grew up in the same community. She didn't do art at the university, but she did like art in O level and all that. I don't remember the course she did at the university, but when she finished, she was a fashion designer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if Hope could really be a fashion designer,
I can
even
too.
without, going through the
Campus
university,
with,
I can. So I kept telling my sister, I really need to meet Hope. I need to meet Hope. She's like, no, focus on this. So I told her I need to meet Hope. I need to ask her how she did it because I didn't know how exactly, how someone would not study fashion
And
but still be a designer. So I thought there has to be a way because I was already big-headed. I'm like, there has to be a way.
A rebel.
Yeah. So I kept on still, even by the way, in HS, I kept on still going to the art school, to the art class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept on going art class, maybe in the evening. Visit people who are like maybe like during the weekends the art room was open for people to really come and draw and what. So I would still really go and visit them, see what they're doing, do the same maybe. At home I had my brother's art book and he had studied art at A level. So I thought maybe it's easier.
So was it why is it that it was easy for him to study it and it wasn't?
Because he was studying, he wasn't studying in Kampala, so it was a little bit also difficult
to follow up,
monitor and know what he's doing because he was staying with an uncle. So I thought, okay.
So this time Dad was determined. It's not happening again in my family.
Yeah. So I thought,
So you get to campus.
Possible.
You get to campus, and what did you pursue?
So at campus, like I said, I'm big-headed. I'm really, really big-headed. So I'm like, I am only going to apply for one course. One. And if I don't go through, thank God. I'm like, that would be the best. So, So I applied for economics and statistics, period. When they're asking me second course, I'm like, economics and statistics. Third course, I still put the same course as, it was still the same course. So I apply, and then they tell me, they gave me the course. I'm like, okay, I'm dead. I don't want to do this. I didn't want.
Okay.
But by then, during my vacation, I was also doing jewelry with my sisters. So that kept me going, and I was already getting money. I'm like, if it doesn't work out, I'm still going to pursue my fashion. I'm already selling jewelry.
Yeah.
I can fund myself in a fashion school. I can go for a diploma.
Yeah.
Or I still had hopes of meeting Hope. So I'm like, my sister will give me Hope's number and I'll go meet her and all that. So yeah, so I did economics and statistics for my first year. Was all well because I loved math. Second year, things had to be tough, like serious. I'm like, okay, I wasn't thinking much. And then in my third year, when I went for internship, I was doing my internship at the district in Gulu. So my sister was working with the OPM in Gulu, so she easily got me a place to really do internship there. And then I was doing data entry. I was, I don't even remember the terms we used to use in statistics. I was doing data entry and then running data really. By then, we were doing census and also doing data for hepatitis B. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, is this what you really want to do?
You asked yourself?
Yes, I asked myself.
That was in your third year?
Third year. I'm like, is this really what I want to do? So I thought, is this how it's going to really be out there in the office doing
for the rest of your life?
The rest of my life?
Yeah.
No.
It was boring?
No, it wasn't really. Like, I had moved away from my business.
The jewelry business?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was here, I'm like, okay.
With computers.
This is impossible.
Yeah.
No. So, by then also, I had two retakes. To do, which I'd got in, they said if you get a retake in third year, you have to repeat it in the other year. Because it was easier if you get a retake in second year, you can do it. Something. Yeah. Like that. Yeah, so I'm like, no. So and then my supervisor there, because we had two supervisors, one that comes from the university and then one where you're working from. She was really rude. Then
which one of them? There. The one who was at the workplace?
Yes, the one at the workplace. So she would come in the morning, sit there, and then let you guys do all the work while she's just there.
Yeah.
Okay, this is tough. I don't like to be monitored. So I thought this is not what I wanted to really do, first of all, and this is not really my passion. So I told my sister, I'm going to drop out, really. But I don't think I can continue with this. I don't like my job.
So you did that, you made that decision during your internship?
Yes, during my internship. My sister's like, okay, Faith, you're trouble. You know Dad, because my dad is tough. Like, tough and uptight. She's like, I'm out of this. Boy. I didn't lead you to this.
Third year, when you talk about third year, was it in between semesters or was it after? How did you do your internship? Was it at the end of the third year or is it between semesters?
The end of the third year.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like,
and you still had retakes to do? And
yeah, I had 2 retakes to do. So thinking of also going back and doing those retakes and also here in the field, like how things are, no, I am done with this. So my sister was the one who was paying for my tuition at campus. So I really told her, I'm so sorry, like with everything, but trust me, let me go in for what I really want to. So I come back home, I tell my dad I'm done with my internship and all that. Now we are going to graduate next year. So I think
you told him you're going to graduate?
Yes.
Okay.
Because after the internship we are graduating the following year. So maybe this time period I can maybe go learn how to tailor, go learn how to... He's like, okay, it's okay. Yeah. But he asked me why I really didn't remain in Gulu to work at the district, maybe volunteer. I told him they didn't need any volunteer. Yeah. So I started to learn slowly how to tailor, then I continued with my jewelry business.
Was it easy to pick up from where you had left when you set the jewelry on rest? And then you returned. Was it easy for you to pick up on the clientele and all those things? Okay.
So I kept on doing that until it was almost now graduation time.
Yeah. How many months was that?
I think it was 2 or 3 months to the graduation. Then I tell my sister, you tell him that I'm not going to graduate. So,
ouch.
She's like, how do I tell him? So I told her, I don't know how, but
so you were like, you're the one to tell her, not me?
Yes.
Really? But it's your burden, it's your cross to carry.
I'm not really also close to my dad.
Okay.
So I told her, you tell him. I cannot tell him. So she calls my dad, and then she tells him everything.
It was on call? On
call, because my sister was still working at the OPM and she was still in Gulu.
Yeah.
So she tells him, and then he doesn't also tell me that. I asked her, did you tell
that
him?
You had been? Okay.
She said yes. And then I had told her, but he's not saying anything to me.
How many weeks was that, or days?
I don't remember, but he wasn't saying anything to me at all. So graduation is done. It also hit me that, okay, I did not graduate.
Yeah.
So I let it be. So one day he just tells me, like, you keep on doing these useless things and all these things, and out of university, look at what you're doing. Like, someone gives up their salary to pay for you school fees, tuition, and then look at what you're doing. Do you even get money out of it? You don't even see the money that you're making, and all. Like, it was tough. I'm like, okay. So he tells me, I need to go back to school. I need to go to the university and see the texts I have.
Oh, back into statistics again.
Otherwise, I have to leave home.
Whoa.
And my dad is tough. So
when he says something.
Yes, and he sets a date.
Oh.
And it's like, within 1 week, you don't sort yourself out, you leave.
What?
Yeah.
No, like, at least, I don't know. Wasn't there a moment when he was like, okay, what do you want?
No, there was nothing like that. So he kept on asking me. And then the last day, I was like, it's your choice. Then he tells me to write a letter that I have decided not to really go to school. And for him, his kids go to school, so I'm not his kid. And
whoa.
Okay, he was giving me exactly what to write. Write this, and then you sign. I'm like...
So he was dictating where you were
everything.
writing.
Yeah, then he tells me, okay, you're now free to live. Free to go and do whatever you want, but not in my house.
So in the letter, you were fatherless?
Yeah. Until now, I am fatherless.
You're still doing useless stuff?
To him, since I didn't go back to school, or since I didn't listen to
what he wanted.
Yes, to what he wanted, still stands like the same. We do talk, but if he's talking to people, he can still tell them, that one, she didn't want to go to school, and then she wrote, he tells them she's the one who wrote this. And then she chose to not be my kid.
That's tough.
Yeah.
That is really tough, I'm imagining.
Yeah.
How do you go about it? Do you ever feel like you want to go and sit with him, have this conversation, that wasn't right, you made me write these things?
I think to my father, since of course, he's my father. He's the right one.
The elder.
And yes, and even after me starting up Reform Africa and all this, I'm still a school dropout. I really still doing useless things.
Yo.
Yeah.
Does he see you?
It's still the same. It's still the same. It doesn't matter to him.
Let's talk about Reform Africa.
Okay.
Reform Africa, adding value to trash. I had never seen the tagline.
Adding value to trash. Yeah. So in 20...
How did it come about? Because now we're seeing you going into jewelry designing and learning about fashion. How did you jump from that to Reform Africa?
So in 2017,
yeah,
I had a friend visit me, and we talked about like business generally.
Visit you where? Because now we're seeing you away from home.
Yeah.
Where did you go?
So I was staying in Mutongo. I was renting a place. So
you were renting?
Yeah.
Where were you getting the money from?
I was renting a house. I was doing my jewelry business.
The jewelry was getting you the rent?
Yeah.
And it was still useless?
So yeah, so I was doing jewelry, and then I added in like punching like old t-shirts and old jumpers with chitenji, something like that, and the jumpers were really
making money.
Yeah, making a lot of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was surviving. So this friend told me maybe I would really think of doing something big, because I was still recycling. My jewelry was not ordinary; it was still recycled jewelry out of plastic, out of wood, stones. So they told me of a place called Social Innovation Academy, where maybe I would be mentored to just come up with a more sustainable and a viable business.
Yeah.
And also just scale it up. So I thought maybe let me give it a try.
How long back is that?
I moved to PG in September 2017.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only rented just a few months. I think about 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So September, I first moved partly to Mpiji, then I fully moved to Mpiji. Then there we were tasked to really look back, maybe throughout our childhood or the communities we were in, or also within ourselves or the families, the social problems that are just there. And then
so they were training social problem solvers.
So I thought, so I thought back as I was growing up, there was a problem of waste.
Yeah.
Waste. Also, I had a challenge in primary, like every time it's raining, it's hard to go to school because of flooding.
Yeah.
And since we're staying in the slum areas, there was really a lot of flooding.
Yeah.
And when I was doing research, I realized it's because of the poor waste management, because every time it's raining is when my family and the neighborhood would think of disposing of waste in the trenches. And this is already organic and inorganic, and most of it is plastic. So the plastic bag clogged the trenches and caused the recurring flooding. So I thought maybe I would push this deeper and see where it goes. So I just began by doing research. Then I also met two ladies still at the academy. Yeah. One a refugee.
You call this Social Reform Academy?
Social Innovation Academy.
Social Innovation Academy.
One is a refugee from DRC. Still the same challenge of waste back in DRC and also in the refugee camp where she came from, Nachi Valley. And then one from Boise. Okay. Boise, we all know it's one of the highly flooded areas.
Some people call it at the beach.
So we thought, so that maybe we would use our past experiences of poor waste management to come up with a sustainable business. Yeah. So we began researching about...
Three of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
About...
Were you grouped?
Not necessarily a group, but people pitched. Yeah. You pitched what you want to really go through, and then you realize, this person has the same idea. We didn't pitch solutions, but we just pitched problems.
Okay.
So obviously, yeah. So we realized we have the same problems, and we also all grew up from the slums. So yeah, we embarked on research.
Yeah.
To see how really plastic is produced, how plastic is disposed of, how plastic is collected, and also waste generally.
Yeah.
Then we realized they decided to also look at the solutions available for the different plastic. As you can see, plastic bottles are collected almost everywhere, but the plastic bags, they're not collected.
Yeah.
So we thought maybe we would work around the plastic bags. So they also said when we were doing our solutions, it has to be something in our passion.
Yeah.
So we all wrote down our passion: fashion, design, art. It was all still the same for the three of us.
Yeah.
So we thought, okay, how can we bring art
To this
and
problem
design
and
into
solve
this?
it.
You know, the first thing was the bags. Okay, so the bags, you know, art and all this. Then we also went in the communities, because we don't make solutions for ourselves, of course, we make the solutions for the communities. So we're interviewing a few ladies in the community in PG about bags, the kind of bags that their kids use.
Yeah.
So most of them actually use polythene bags to go to school.
Yeah,
But-
yeah.
But because it's cheap and they cannot afford to buy maybe a bag of 30,000. So,
Almost every time.
yeah, every time, and it's going to get torn.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, they buy a polythene bag of 100 shillings. So we realize at the end of it all, the plastic bag is torn, and then they have to buy another one every day. And this was also was polluting the environment, but it was not sustainable, because at the end of the 3 months, they have spent actually 90,000.
Oh, you went into calculation
Yeah.
for that? Okay.
We calculated for them.
Yeah.
All that.
Oh, you painted for them a picture.
Yes. Of actually how much they are really spending, but they don't have that money to really buy a bag all at once, but they can afford to buy.
And yet, so in the end, it turns out more expensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we thought maybe why don't we design actually a bag for that? So we were doing research on how to turn plastic polythene bags into
School bags.
And with Google, we realized there's really a lot of ideas that people are working on. Then we also landed on a lot of research that people were doing on plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we just embarked on that, and slowly we began to prototype to see how prototype for about 3 months. Then it failed. Then we paused for a month. Then again we came back, prototyped. Then we started to receive orders from a few friends who really liked the bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how we started to make the bags.
So when you talk about the 3 people, the 2 other people that you started with, are those the founders? Are those the people that we should look at as the founders of Reform Africa?
Yes.
You're still in collaboration with them,
Yes.
one from DRC and the other from Boise.
Yes.
Quite interesting. Because usually when people go into school, not you, I don't know if I should say usually, they take different paths. So I imagine the other person went back to DRC and went on to do something of their own, and you here.
So she's a refugee from National refugee camp, but she had also come at the academy to really learn about, because the academy not only trains about social businesses, but it helps through personal and professional growth. Yes. So they bring in refugees, former sex workers, former street kids, orphans, and then marginalized youths. And then they train them through personal growth with different sessions, and then professional growth. Reform Africa.
Again. What did it take for you to come up with it? For your young age, I saw your age and I was like, hey.
You're just...
This is a young person, man. this is a young person, because I was seeing all this work that you do, and it's just so admirable. And for me, when a younger person does something this admirable, it's a challenge. It takes me back to, what are you doing for society, my friend? There's a younger person changing or transforming the society. So what did it take? What was it like for you coming up with it? What are the challenges that you may have faced and overcome?
The first challenge was really through our research, because we all, like the three of us, didn't really have experience on waste. We all did different courses at the university, and this was something too raw for us to really step in. But I also like after all this, I really believe when you really put your mind onto something, you can achieve it. So we really put in 100% of our mind to research, to read, to research, to read, to write emails, to ask people questions, to watch YouTube, and just give it all. So yeah, it wasn't easy. Like I told you, it took us 3 months to really prototype a bag, to be able to fuse, because different plastics have different melting points. And then at the beginning, we're just mixing plastic, and then it's melting up, it's not melting this side, and then some plastics don't melt. So we took us
some plastics don't melt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some plastic just coil.
Ah, right.
Yeah, it just coils. You just press it, just coils like this. So we began to really, we just categorized it in different sizes, the forms and the types and the softness, the stiffness.
So you went into studying about plastics?
Yes, but by our own, and then learning.
Because the resource, how are the resources readily available for that kind of, research?
We're researching.
Because I feel like you started from scratch. I don't think this is something that is common.
We're researching online, but then prototyping, we were using a heat press. Yes, and heat presses are available almost like everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So heat pressing them, and then seeing how long it really takes to heat press this kind, to heat press this kind. Yeah, that's how we got to learn. But the challenges that we've got along the way is really how waste is disposed of, or even how waste is collected. Both organic and inorganic waste is mixed together, so it becomes difficult to really sort. Yeah, it's expensive to sort. Then it's also expensive to clean them up, because we have to use water to clean them because they're dirty. And then also, since like with Uganda, we produce 500 tons of waste every day.
500 tons.
500 tons of
Okay.
waste every day. And then 51% of this waste is not collected. So we only collect 49%.
Wow.
So so most times you can see, that's why when it's raining, you see
They start floating around.
Yeah, it just floats. So it becomes difficult for the women to really collect, because also waste is just scattered everywhere. It's not like in one place, unless they go to the landfill, but it's scattered everywhere. People are traveling on the bus, they are throwing a bottle, they are throwing a cavera. So also the waste collected is little, because of the way we collect and dispose. That's the challenge.
That's the main challenge. And then now we're getting to how receptive Uganda is of this product of Reform Africa, because you have bags. You started with bags, right?
Yes,
Let's talk about the bags mostly, because I think they're the most that are on the market. How receptive is Uganda when it comes to the product?
So, so when you go for exhibitions or when you are selling like online, the people love the bags, but when you tell them they're made out of waste, they're like, oh, Sasiro, neda. I am not buying. At first, they love the bags.
Do they ask?
Because the bags are unique. Of course.
They are very unique. Do they ask questions like, how do you make them?
Yes, they like.
How about you just say polythene?
It's just to be waste. So we're like, Kasasiro? No, they don't.
They don't even care to find out, maybe get to touch the product.
They touch it, but since
especially
it's
for the
made
exhibitions.
from waste,
Yeah.
that's just a turn off. Yeah.
So how are we going to go about sensitizing people that this kind of waste is not going to be harmful to your health?
Yeah, we sensitize them also on the story, because each bag that you buy, it's recycled from 15 plastic bags. So those are also plastic
15.
bags. 15.
Yeah.
That would have ended up in the environment.
Yeah.
Then also sensitizing them about waste pollution, the effects of pollution, and really how long plastic takes to decompose. Because back there in PG, people just dig a hole and throw trash, and then they cover it up.
Are you serious?
Of course.
Oh dear.
People dig holes, and then they pour their trash for like 3 months, and then it's full, they cover it up. And they think it's gone.
That's dangerous.
Yeah. And then it's funny, when it's raining, people see the plastic bottles and they're like, oh, kasasiro monj. But in their mind, they don't know that it's the trash that you are throwing from through the windows.
Oh, they don't care.
No,
don't
people
care.
aren't really, I think they're just ignorant. They don't think really deep about
the effects of plastic to the environment.
Even people, like, most times when I ask people, okay, where does your trash end up? They say a truck guy is going to come and pick my kasasiro and they're going to dump it. But not knowing, it's just dumping. There's nothing. Because in Uganda, we are recycling less than 1% of our waste. Less than 1%. And this is also waste that is just collected, shredded, and exported.
Exported?
Yeah. And 2 years ago, India...
We are exporting waste?
Yes. Okay. So we collect plastic bottles, wash, shred them into smaller particles, like the shredded plastic that you saw.
Yeah.
They bale them, they export them, because we don't have the recycling facilities here. And then they export them.
And I think we haven't really embraced the culture of recycling.
We haven't.
Much as we talk about it.
We haven't really embraced the culture. Like the people really haven't.
Yeah. I mean, we like the things from the US. So I think I sort of understand when someone's like, kasasiro? I'm not dealing. So how does someone get to have a product from Reform Africa? So
we sell our bags through mostly social media, Facebook, Instagram, and then also through our website.
Yeah.
We also have our offline shops, the shops that we partner with here in Uganda. We have about 6 of them.
Okay.
Then we also have shops in both Europe and in America, where where people can easily buy like our products from. Then from here, like in our production facility, we just do production.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't think we have to talk about the prototypes. We don't have to. We have to wait for the products to come out, and that's when we'll possibly have to talk about the product itself.
Yeah.
We're not giving them hints. We're not giving them hints. So what's your website? What's your website? What's the name of the website that people can get to? Do they just type in Reform Africa?
So on social media, you can type in Reform Africa, but on the website...
Social media, that is all social media platforms?
Yeah.
Okay.
On the website, it's www.reformafrica.org.
Okay. And then they can easily shop and get to know more about your products.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then getting in touch with you, do they make calls and find out? Because now they don't know the 6 retail shops that they can access the product from. So do they make calls and ask for?
Yeah, we have a WhatsApp, then also a call, 0757 677015.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always open. You can always reply to all messages.
You have that kind of thing, the catalog and...
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure they'll be able to find all the products there. Thank you so much
for
honoring the invite and giving us sharing your experiences with us.
You're welcome.
From this episode, I am inspired to be tenacious when it comes to pursuing my interests and goals, and I hope it is the same for you. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka. If you loved what you heard, make sure you subscribe to Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka in your podcast platform of choice and share it with your friends. Let them know that this is where they're supposed to be. Feel free to also share your insights on what connected with you on social media, and be sure to tag us. We are at Hashtag with Nabuguzi Kiwanuka on Facebook and Instagram, and on Twitter our handle is at HTNK Podcast. You can also reach us on email, htkpodcast@gmail.com. I really look forward to hearing from you.